Change just one thing. Hello, my loves. This is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com, back with Chronic Wellness. I'm so delighted to be back together again after an 8-week break, the longest I've taken in these, almost 4 years of recording with you. I had many things happen over these 8 weeks, from taking on too much to enjoying myself immensely and being oversick and overtired at times. So I'll catch you up on the details of that in the coming weeks. But before I forget, I want to tell you about the fact that starting at the end of September, I am going to be hosting a series every other week on IG Live called Chronic Wellness Conversations. And at 11 a.m. on Thursdays, Pacific Standard Time, I'll be hosting interview conversations with thought leaders and physicians and authors and sick people about the ways in which disability and disease and pain impact our lives. And I am thrilled to be able to have these conversations, and I'm so excited to be bringing them to you. I'll be delighted to be able to have this experience live and be able to invite you all to participate and ask questions and to be joining us on this platform. And so I hope you'll be watching the socials and be joining me over on Instagram for these new opportunities. And if there are people that you'd like to submit for me to talk to, or if you'd like to talk to me over on IG Live, get in touch. There are all the ways, from the comment section below to finding me on my website or on any of the socials. So please do that. Now back to the regularly scheduled program. So I recently went to the neurologist, and in the course of our conversation about the state of the daily migraine and about my sleep, the doctor had several recommendations, and some of them were about daily habits related to my contemplative practice, and a couple of them were medication-based, and one of them was dietary. And I was once again reminded of this fact, which is that when I jump headlong into changes that I'm hopeful about, or that I think are maybe going to make a difference, it's so easy to try to take on too much too quickly. I remember this particularly in the early stages of my illness, that I would change multiple variables all at the same time. And then if something changed in my health picture, I didn't know what made the difference. And that's where this idea of today's talk comes from: change just one thing. Now, I know it's not rocket surgery, rocket science and brain surgery, but it is an important point that I myself need reminding about. And so I thought maybe you might too, which is leave space, change one thing, wait, change one more thing. And so in this time where the neurologist recommended adding a medication, changing a dose of one of my medications, changing a dietary habit, changing a practice, I feel like I can change the practice anytime. I can add this mindfulness-based technique that he suggested and just fold it into my routines. But I am going to change the dosage of a medication, and I'm going to wait 4 to 6 weeks. And then I'm going to make a dietary change, and I'm going to wait 4 to 6 weeks. And then I'm going to add in the other med that he suggested. And I'm going to wait 4 to 6 weeks. And maybe your body is different, but I feel like my body moves on a really mammalian, a very slow process. So when I make changes, I mean, side effects sometimes hit me quickly, but the ability to see positive effects of a med often take a while for me. And I'm not just talking about, like antidepressants where they say it could take 6 to 8 weeks. I'm talking about other meds, really seeing if they're going to take hold or make a difference or positively impact me in a longitudinal kind of way. And the best nutrition science is now telling us that the impacts of some foods really can't be fully understood in our body for up to a month later. And so to really think about the implications of that, particularly if you, like me, are going to try some heavy duty elimination diets, wow, what does that mean for how slowly you might think about subtracting ingredients, or how slowly you might think about adding them back in. And I think it's really typical when doing particularly elimination diets to just subtract, wheat, sugar, dairy, nightshades, simple carbs like potatoes and nightshade, all in one go. But how might it be valuable to think about doing those one at a time? I know it takes more time, folks, but what's more worth it than our health? And if taking the time would actually save us time in the long run, because we'd have more information and greater understanding about what makes a positive difference to our health. I mean, honestly, worth it. And for me, first of all, my memory is faulty. Second of all, when the burden of daily pain is as high as it is for many of us, I think it's easy to just be like, pain, everyday pain, all day pain, versus understanding the discrete but perceptible differences or shades of difference throughout the day, across the day, between the days. And for me to start to get a handle on, oh, these hormonal shifts make a difference. Oh, these weather shifts make a difference. Oh, my migraines are so much worse this time of year. And so for me, having a way to track really matters, as well as the fact that I don't think I'm alone in the reality that I was taught subtly to tune out information about my own body. And so part of what I'm doing is learning how to reconnect and tune back into and understand and trust and learn the signals of my own body. And keeping track is part of the way that I'm learning how to do that. And so if you are making changes, having a way to track longitudinally so you can see whether or not those changes have made a difference. If your daily pain journal is recording you at the end of the day routinely at a 7, and all of a sudden it goes down to a 6, you'll see that something is making a difference. And honestly, folks, the difference between a 7 and a 6 is an order of magnitude. I mean, for me, there's a lot of life that can be carved out in the difference between a 7 and a 6. That's the difference between being able to take a phone call in an afternoon or not, being able to record one of these broadcasts or not. And so I encourage you to think about changing one thing at a time. And if you aren't already journaling or tracking or in your calendar just writing down a number each day, to think about keeping a log. You are worth it. As a matter of fact, there's almost nothing more worth it than you. So that's my message for today, and I want you to stay tuned for more information about those chronic wellness conversations. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do forward this along to anyone you think could use it. And I thank you for being here. It's really wonderful to be back together again. And as ever, this broadcast is about working to find wholeness in the midst of illness. So I hope that you are finding moments or glimpses of that in your own life. Thank you. I love you. And until we're together again, be well.